This is Writing to Testify, Part 5 by Terry Bale. And I've been reading this in segments, and this is number 86. I had to move my chair, so it might be a little different picture, but not very much. It is getting to be sunset, so over all this snow. And if you hear very loud noises, it might be snowmobiles going by. This is big snow country, and it's big melt right now. This is Valentine's Day, 2026. And I just do the best I can. Here goes. I'll read this. Number 86. And did I say, my name is Terry Bale, and I wrote this. And it's not trying to preach, not trying to teach, to testify. God had me to understand these things, and He wanted me to write them down and get them out to people. And I've tried different ways, and it's always been stopped, staunched, sealed, quit. But I'm doing this now. Okay, number 86. Go to the Bible. Read it for yourself. Idolatry and God's taking action against it to purge it from His people is one of the main themes in the Bible. It is found both in the Old Testament and the New. And this is in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 6 through 15. Quote, "Now these things were our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things." And evil, it doesn't always mean horrid. It means not good, crummy, bad, going the wrong direction. So don't just say, well, this isn't evil. It might be evil. Yucky stuff in your food, you know? But don't lust after it. Don't go wanting things that are less than right, less than good, less than holy. God helps us, and not everything's holy. We walk on dirt. Don't know what's under it, but I'm sorry. I'll start over. Number 86. Go to the Bible. Read it for yourself. Idolatry and God's taking action against it to purge it from His people is one of the main themes in the Bible. It is found in both the Old Testament and the New. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 6 through 15, it says, quote, "Now these things were our examples, to the intent that we should not lust after evil things, as they also lusted. Neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them. As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play." I quoted that elsewhere, briefly. "Neither let us commit fornication, as some of them committed, and fell in one day 23,000. Neither let us tempt Christ, as some of them also tempted, and were destroyed of serpents. Neither murmur ye, as some of them also murmured, and were destroyed of the destroyer. Now all these things happened unto them for ensamples, and they are written for our admonition, upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore, let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it. Wherefore, my beloved, flee from idolatry. I speak as to wise men. Judge ye what I say." You never hear that last part, and there it is at the end of all that, in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verses 6 through 15. And then Romans chapter 11, 20 to 22. Quote, "Be not high-minded, but fear. For if God spared not the natural branches, take heed lest He also spare not thee. Behold therefore the goodness and severity of God. On them which fell, severity, but toward thee goodness, if thou continue in His goodness. otherwise thou also shalt be cut off. Romans 11:20-22. Quote, and they also, this is Romans 11:23-25. Quote, and they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, this is talking about God's people, Israel, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again. For if thou wert cut out of the olive tree, which is wild by nature, and wert grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these, which be the natural branches, be grafted into their own olive tree? For I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. That's Romans chapter 11:23-25. That's Bible. And I'm not going to try to explain it all. I don't understand all of it. Maybe what I do understand, I'm grateful for. But there are people who can explain it. Go to your pastor. Go to your teachers, a proper teacher of the Bible. On the trail over there, that's the snowmobiles. I don't get on snowmobiles. I could, but I'm just glad to live here. I'm glad to be where God put us. And there's, what do you call it? Seasons. That's what. There's seasons here. So I like it that way. Here's the last part of that number 86. There is hope for Israel in the time of the end, when the fullness of the Gentiles is come in. But there is also hope for any and every individual who will leave his sinful ways and come to God in the name of his Son, Jesus. But be careful. Don't mock him. He has had enough already of those who use his name, but disregard the holiness that is inherent in it, and the holiness that it therefore requires. That's my comment, guys. I will admit. So next, and here comes a lot of Bible verses, because I quote almost a whole chapter, I think, coming up. And then the last 2 pages will be the end of this. This is number 87. The Song of Moses in Deuteronomy chapter 32, and spoken of in Revelation chapter 15, is the song of God's people, past and present. Quote unquote, the Song of Moses. You might think that it would be, quote, a song of praises to the living God who walks among his people, end quote. But it is instead a promise of destruction to those who forsake the God that made them, and lightly esteem the rock of their salvation. Now here is Deuteronomy chapter 31, verse 30. Quote, and Moses spake in the ears of all the congregation of Israel the words of this song until they were ended, unquote. That's the last verse in Deuteronomy chapter 31. Then begins the Song of Moses. And I wrote it down, the whole thing. It kind of amazes me. I wrote it down. I finished writing to Testify. I finished writing it in 1999. I started writing it in 1993. And there were 2 years there where I didn't have a computer and didn't write on it. But the Lord helped me through the years to write it and then reread it and then get it written right. You know, like typos, spellings, but clarifications and corrections. He helped me, and it got so much better than if I just done it by myself. But otherwise I was by myself. There was nobody telling me what to say, do. But Lord, all through my life, since I was tiny, since I was 5, I started talking to God, and he started talking to me. Not to my ears, And not much, but here and there, he just helped me along. But he was really there. I knew he cared. I could feel his presence, and his kindness, and sometimes I, needed correction and stuff. But mostly he lets you learn from your choices, and but and sometimes it's major stuff. Praise God. So I better read on with this. But at any rate, he let me to put this whole thing in here. It has got 43 verses, and I'm about to read them all to you. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 1 through 43. Verse 1, quote, "Give ear, O ye heavens, and I will speak. And hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. 2. My doctrine shall drop as the rain. My speech shall distill as the dew, as the small rain upon the tender herb, and as the showers upon the grass. 3. Because I will publish the name of the Lord, ascribe ye greatness unto our God. 4. He is the rock, his work is perfect, for all his ways are judgment, a God of truth, and without iniquity, just and right is he. 5. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are a perverse and crooked generation. 6. Do ye thus requite the Lord, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee? Hath he not made thee and established thee? 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he will show thee, thy elders, and they will tell thee. 8. When the Most High divided the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. 9. For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. 10. He found him in a desert land. He found him in a desert land, and in the waste howling wilderness. He led him about. He instructed him. He kept him as the apple of his eye. 11. As an eagle stirreth up her nest, fluttereth over her young, spreadeth abroad her wings, taketh them, beareth them on her wings. 12. So the Lord alone did lead him, and there was no strange God with him. 13. He made him to ride on the high places of the earth, that he might eat the increase of the fields. And he made him to suck honey out of the rock, and oil out of the flinty rock. 14. Butter of kine, and milk of sheep, with fat of lambs, and the rams of the breed of Bashan, and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of wheat. And thou didst drink the pure blood of the grape. 15. But Jeshurun waxed fat, and kicked. Thou art waxen fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook God which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation. 16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. 17. They sacrificed unto devils, not to God, to gods whom they knew not, to gods that came newly up, whom your fathers feared not. 18. Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. Guys, I'm going to stop it now, because I don't think I can get to the end of the psalm. Can I? I'll try. 19. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them, because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. 20. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be. For they are a very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. 21. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. Vanities means emptiness, means useless. With their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. Sounds like America. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. 22. And I added that. Sounds like America. Sorry. 22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. 23. I will heap mischiefs upon them. I will spend mine arrows upon them. 24. They shall be burnt with hunger, and devoured with burning heat, and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. 25. The sword without and the terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin, the suckling also with the man of gray hairs. 26. I said, I would scatter them into corners. I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. 27. Were it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, Our hand is high, and the Lord hath not done all this. 28. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. 29. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. 30. How should one chase 1,000, and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them, and the Lord had shut them up? 31. For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. 32. For their vine is the vine of Sodom, and of the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. 33. Their wine is the poison of dragons, and the cruel venom of asps. That means snakes. 34. Is not this laid up in store with me, and sealed up among my treasures? 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day of their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. 36. For the Lord shall judge his people, and repent himself for his servants, when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left. 37. And he shall say, Where are their gods, their rock in whom they trusted? 38. Which did eat the fat of their sacrifices, and drank the wine of their drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you, and be your protection. 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. 40. For I lift up my hand to heaven, and say, I live forever. 41. If I whet my glittering sword, and mine hand take hold on judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and will reward them that hate me. 42. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh, and that with the blood of the slain, and of the captives, from the beginning of revenges upon the enemy. 43. Rejoice, O ye nations. This is the last verse. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. That's Deuteronomy chapter 32, verses 1 through 43. the end of the Song of Moses. And I'll stop there. And the sun has cut me down. I'll continue. Thank you.